Hi guys, today we're going to be making a cottage cheese recipe from scratch at home. So a lot of people were able to find me through my cottage cheese recipe short, but wanted a slower version. So today we're going to be making the cottage cheese recipe from scratch at home. With all the you'll need milk and lemon juice for this to start with. So for the milk, you would want a higher percentage fat milk just so it is more creamy. It turns out more creamier and like a heavier, richer cottage cheese. But you can also still use any other milk that you prefer. So we're gonna be adding 6 to 8 cups of our milk, but you can add more or less if you prefer. If you prefer the amount of recipe to be more or less. Our milk, just gonna be measuring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add about 10 cups in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and heat them up. So you just want it to heat up just about to be boiling, or you bring it up to 190 degree. So as you see right here, it is just about boiling. 130 to 136, 137, 141, and we're going up a little bit until we reach 190. I think I have it, yeah, in Fahrenheit. Until we reach 190, then we can go ahead and take it off the burner. And we are almost there. It is almost gonna be done. It's just bubbling up a little bit over here. It's about 160 right now, so I'm gonna be needing 30 more, and then we will be adding our lemon juice into it. Removing the milk basically off the burner right now. We're just gonna be adding our lemon juice. And then we're just gonna give it a quick stir. And once, you can already see it's starting to curdle, but we're gonna leave it for about 10 minutes. And once we come back, it should have all the chunks ready in it. We are just gonna cover it and let it sit for 10 minutes, and we'll come back in time. So while we wait for the 10 minutes for the curdles to start separating from the liquid, I'm just prepping here my for this part. You can use either a cheesecloth, you can use a towel and a strainer, you can use whatever really you have on hand. I'm using here a bowl, a strainer, and a little towel, and you basically dump all your liquid in here. And once you dump all your liquid into here, and once it's all in here, it's gonna strain it, and it's gonna go, all the liquid's gonna separate, and then gonna end up with all the cottage cheese right in here. And then we all have to squeeze, is all we have to do at the end is squeeze out the liquid. And then so we can see right here all of the cheese and the curds basically separating from the liquid. This is your whey, and this is all our cheese. So we're gonna go ahead and dump it over here and strain out the whey, and all we'll be left with is our cottage cheese. It's gonna be hot, so just be very careful with yourself to not burn yourself. And I'm just gonna gently start pouring it over. And we're just gonna gently pour it over. It does splash, so just be very careful. Look at that. And then we're just gonna let the liquid drain out for a bit. The best way is to have something holding it up to get all the way to kind of come out of it, but at the same time it's way too hot, so we're just gonna leave it in here for a bit and let it all drain out the liquid. Using some of the excess whey, and then once you've squeezed most of it out, we are going to just dump it into the desired container of choice, and go ahead and add, we're gonna go ahead and add some salt as well for taste, and a little bit of whey back in, just to make sure it, because like when you get cottage cheese from the store, it's a little bit also like wet, so when you make it at home, you just add a little bit of whey, or I've seen also you can add like heavy, just a tablespoon of heavy cream, and it kind of makes it that like wet and creamy texture for cottage cheese. Here I have my bowl, and I'm just going to be adding my cheese in here. So go ahead and open cottage cheese, and I'm just going to take it and dump it right in here. Just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt, and you can add more or less as desired. You guys, this turned out so good. If you love cottage cheese, this recipe is so good, and it makes a good amount as well, so you can have it. We did make in the previous video, actually, I made a cottage cheese chip recipe, and I'm not sure, I mean, I ended up eating them. You can use this recipe to make a lot of like you can make an easy dough with this, using it like we used Greek yogurt in that video with yogurt and flour, self-rising flour, that makes it turn into an easy dough that you don't need to let rise or anything. So you could do the same exact thing with cottage cheese, just using 1 cup of cottage cheese, 1 cup of preferred flour, or you could use a self-rising flour or a preferred flour plus baking powder, but that, I understand, that makes it 3 ingredients, and then just add a little bit of salt, and that makes it so good, and it turns into a dough that is healthier for you, and it's easier to make. Honestly, I make it because of the convenience. So if you ever wanting to try that and you don't have yogurt around, you can absolutely easily use cottage cheese. Anyways, this recipe was so much fun to make. I hope you guys find it easier than the short, and please leave your thoughts below. I really want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought of this recipe. Let me know if you're going to try it out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.